pull up a chair, grab a coffee. Let's get into the absolute granular reality of building generational wealth in Eugene right now. Today is June 3rd, 2026. If you are still looking at real estate through the lens of traditional single-family rentals, you are leaving millions of dollars on the table for someone hungrier to scoop up. I'm going to shoot entirely straight with you because I care about the legacy you are building. The market is shifting violently, and my job isn't just to open the doors. It's to act as the architect within your portfolio. We do not guess in this business. We run the data, we mitigate the risk, and we execute with an unapologetic, massive level of confidence. I bring a heavy-hitting, unstoppable spirit to this market because I know exactly how to maneuver through it to ensure you win. Here's the step-by-step, unfiltered blueprint for dominating the missing middle housing shift in Eugene. Step 1, weaponize the legislation. Amateurs read headlines. We read the municipal code. Here's how you actually exploit the current laws to force appreciation and multiply your returns. House Bill 2001 and Senate Bill 1537. Multipliers. These bills fundamentally ended exclusive single-family zoning and forced municipalities to stop calling stalling development. A standard low-density residential, R1 as we know it. These lots are now a canvas for up to 4 units for a cottage cluster. The value is no longer in the structure. It's inherently baked into the third density potential. Eugene mandate. Eugene desperately needs housing density. Because of this extreme demand, urban growth updates have increased the maximum building height in R1 zones from 30 feet to 35 feet for multi-housing types. Pitch roof bonus. If your design includes a pitched roof, you can push that height up to 42 feet. That extra verticality is the difference between cramped units and highly desirable premium rent 3-story living areas. Step 2, map the minefield, adverse risk, and cap X. Adding density introduces massive logistical choke points. Here's the operational reality of how we navigate this together. The C, C, and R trap. State law does not automatically override private contracts. State property has covenants and restrictions, CNRs, recorded before January 1st, 2020, that strictly limit the lot to one single-family home where 4-plex streams are dead on arrival. Scrub title reports before we ever write an offer. System development, just SDCs. At units, city charges massive fees for the extra load on sewers, parks, and roads. There's currently an inflationary adjustment increasing SDC rates for transportation, wastewater, and parks effective mid-2026, 30 days away. You must lock in permits before fee hikes compress your margins. Strategic setbacks. Minimum front yard setbacks and local high-density conversions are being aggressively reduced down to 5 feet, specifically for qualifying affordable or accessible dwellings. Leverage this to minimize excavation, utility trenching costs from and of that lot. Step 3, run the institutional math. Your personal breakdown to play at the highest level. You must know how to build a bulletproof pro forma on your own. Here's the exact mathematical pipeline broken down piece by piece, so you can calculate every variable yourself. Net operating income, the foundation. Before running any advanced metrics, you must find your true net operating income. Do not trust a seller's listing sheet. Calculate it yourself. Net operating income equals gross potential rent, GPR, minus vacancy and credit loss, minus operating expenses, OPEX. How do we calculate it? Total to market rent for all 4 proposed units. If each rents for $2,000 per month, your GPR equals 8,000 times 12, which equals 96,000. Vacancy, deduct a realistic local market vacancy factor. Always use 5% for stable underwriting. 96,000 times 0.05 equals 4,800. Your gross operating income is now 91,200. It's at 96 minus 4,800. OPEX, sum your real world property taxes. Property management fees typically land between 8 to 10%. Property insurance, higher for multi-units, utilities, and maintenance reserves. For middle housing in Eugene, use an operating expense ratio, OERs, as we call them in the industry, of 35% of your GOI. That's going to be your gross operating income. 91,200 times 0.35 equals 31,920. The math, 91,000 gross operating income minus 31,920 OPEX equals 59,280. Your true net operating income. Part 2, debt service coverage ratio, the SCR, the lender's gatekeeper. The lenders use this to verify that the property generates enough income to cover its debt. The SCR equals net operating income divided by its annual debt service. How do we calculate this? You take your true net operating income, which we did before, at 59,280. Find your annual debt service, your total principal and interest payments for the year. If your mortgage payment is $3,800 a month, your annual debt service is 3,800 times 12, 45,600. The math, 59,280 divided by 45,600 equals 1.30. The verdict, because 1.30 is greater than the standard institutional threshold of 1.20 to 1.25, this deal is highly fundable and qualifies for top-tier investor lending terms. Part 3, residential land value, RLV. This is your max acquisition cost. Pay attention. When scraping a lot of purchasing raw dirt to build a 4-plex, use this formula to figure out the absolute maximum amount you can pay the seller for the land without eroding your profit. RLV equals your gross development value minus the hard cost, soft cost, financing, and target profits. How do you calculate this? The GDV, after repair value as a multiplex. If you use this middle housing land division to subdivide and sell the units for $400,000 each, your GDV equals $400,000 times 4, puts you at 1.6 million. Hard costs of physical construction, labor, materials, roofing, picture perfect roofing and construction, into Duba and utility hooks. Let's project this at 700,000. Soft costs, architectural plans, permits, legal fees, and SDCs. Let's budget at about 100,000. Financing costs, construction loan, interest carry, let's budget at 50,000. The target profit, never build without a minimum 20% margin for your risk. 1.6 million times 0.20 equals 320,000. With the math being 1.6 million minus all of the prior costs that we just put together, $700,000 for hard costs, $100,000 for soft costs, $50,000 towards financing costs, and the target profit being $320,000. All of those subtracted from 1.6 million equals 430,000. Here's the verdict, and this is the most important part. 430,000 is your absolute ceiling for the land. If the seller ever wants 475,000, you show them the math and walk away unless they come down. Part 4, maximum allowable offer, MAO, or the BRRRR deal. If you are buying a distressed asset, rehabbing it, renting it out, and try to pull all of your cash back out through a refinance, use this. MAO equals after repair value times the max loan to value refinance minus total rehab cost minus the holding cost. So the after repair value, you will price the value after conversion at $800,000. Max loan to value, the cash out refinance limit a lender will give you, typically lands around 75%. For some lenders, it's better. 800,000 times 0.75 equals 600,000. Total rehab costs, structural conversions, cosmetic updates, and utility upgrades, right around 120,000. Holding cost, insurance, taxes, interest, while the building sits empty during construction, 20,000. The math, 600,000 minus 120,000 minus 20,000, you get 460,000. So here's the verdict. If you buy the property for 460,000 or less, you will successfully pull 100% of your capital back out of the refinance phase, resulting in a perfect infinite cash on cash return loop. Step 4, assemble the heavyweight syndicate. You do not scale this kind of wealth alone. I lead the Lavari team properties at Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Equinox, and I serve as the quarterback for your entire operation. We collaborate heavily with elite local agents and teams across the Pacific Northwest to blanket the market, ensuring our public marketing is perfectly positioned, capture high net worth investors alongside local buyers. Here's the front line we deploy to protect your numbers. Joel Anderson, LLC, legal and land use, the absolute tip of the spear for real estate law. They are ruthless. We use them to draft bulletproof middle housing land divisions so you can legally subdivide and sell off your newly built townhomes individually. They also audit those dangerous pre-2020 CCNRs to keep you out of court. Picture Perfect Roofing and Construction, LLC. Duba Prado is my first call for physical execution. When we maximize building height allowances for multi-unit builds, Duba's crew ensures that the exterior envelope and the structural framing are completely impenetrable. We need contractors who understand high-density engineering. Cascade Title and First American Title. Do not let junior escrow officers derail a complex multi-unit conversion. Cascade Title and First American Title are our standards. They anticipate the multi-party disbursements, manage complex title overlays, and keep our capital moving seamlessly. Step 5, lock in the capital stack. The opportunity window under these density laws is open right now, and we execute without hesitation. We need to secure your capital stack before we hunt the dirt. Head over to lavarillc.com/541-lending to explore investor-focused commercial grade lending options tailored specifically for middle housing and BRRR options.